Cancer. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Thank you to my new subscribers, by the way. Well, this is Hidden Jules Tarot, and my name is Jules. We are going to do a 2026 reading. I asked in one of my last videos if y'all would be interested in that, and I'm excited to do this for you. Okay, we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna talk about some astrology. I'm gonna be kind of going like a little bit everywhere, but first we're gonna start off with an archetype. That's gonna be the overarching theme for the year. I'm gonna pull 12 cards for each month and then get a hard truth that kind of clarifies what we need to know about that. And then we'll also talk about the astrology for you per month. So we're going to get a little bit of everything here. Oh, okay, that's the one. Ooh, Anima Mundi. Okay, we're going to actually get into the book with this archetype here because I want to get all of the things. This is what it looks like. This is the Kim Kranz deck. Freaking amazing is what it is. I know that this is in the back somewhere here, so it's the very last one, actually. Well, yeah, it's the very last one. The soul of the world. All that is. That's why I love this card. Okay. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world and all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. Okay, so we're talking about the sacred details of life here. This is kind of like the world card, I would say, in traditional tarot. It's universal unity, you know? And by the way, I'm a Cancer sun, so I definitely, I claim that for sure. What a beautiful overarching theme, though. Hello. All right, we're going to get a shuffle here, and then we're going to pull. But first, we'll start with January. So for January 3rd, there's going to be a full moon in Cancer. It's got a big emotional climax and closure, realization around your home, identity. Cancer's the 4th house, so you may feel seen instantly, which kind of sets the tone for some of your inner work. Early month energy, it kind of is going to force you to evaluate like where you stand with people and who you care about and things like that. So let's see what we have for January for the tarot. Okay. Okay, we starting out with love. I mean, with that Anima Mundi card, like we were just talking about, you know, basically connecting with the cosmos, and this card could be a new connection, or it could just be you're harnessing and being unapologetically you, and and pop off, Cancer, pop off with that. That's wonderful. Okay. We're going to go month for month, so let's do the hard truth around it real fast. Spirit, tell me what is the hard truth behind for January. Okay. Oh, we got 2. All right. So we just talked about it being unapologetically you. The cards that popped out as challenges. Sorry, my light is. And then humiliation. So the shadow side's going to be you're being pushed to repeat patterns for the sake of expansion. We need to just reflect on the past, integrate all the things that, by making better choices, know better, do better. We also have humiliation. So this is what I was just talking about being unapologetically who you are and not having that fear of being judged, because it's really holding you back. So, choose the things that brighten your soul, no matter what the judgments are. Basically, fuck them. Okay, that's what we have to say about that. So, all right, let's get into February. February is more of a reflective and recalibration month. Mercury starts to shift patterns, focus movements with retrogrades. So this is going to be a quieter internal month, considering January and its emotional stuff. We have the Judgment card here. So I think this is the point where we're going inner, like I said, we're really taking the reflection of everything that's happened in the past. This is where, those retrogrades are happening, and we're starting to make these full, wholehearted decisions here of how we want to feel, within our interpersonal relationships, with the persona, how we show up in the world, what truly matters to us. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of emotional things that are happening in January around your identity and feeling seen and things like that. And I think we're finally, putting that nail in the coffin of like, this is who I am. And you know what? It's okay. Like, it's okay to even have judgment calls and you change. I mean, the Judgment card is also about just awakening to your purpose and like having a reckoning to the universe. And like I said, that theme, like, we love to see it. Okay. Oh, there's 2 for this. What do you know? There might be some type of reality check, because I actually do have the Tower on the bottom of the deck here, and then we just pulled reality check. Victim mentality also came out in the reverse though. So that's what's up. I think we are going to realize that we're not a victim of our situations anymore. We're not our circumstances. And I feel like, this is going to be a month where we really start to have that reality check of like, what do we want our world to look like? This card also talks about contemplating fantasy versus reality and taking actionable steps towards your manifestations, because if you're just sitting on the couch thinking that, all this stuff is going to come to you without you doing the work, or how you not showing up authentically, that's just delusion, which we love a little delusion. Don't get me wrong. I love to be a little bit delusional, but Okay. Now, March 10th and 11th, Jupiter goes back direct into Cancer. It's been in our sign since June of 2025, and Jupiter's all about expansion, confidence, opportunities, the good stuff. So this month is going to be probably one of the biggest 2026 anchors. Like, think about your personal growth, visibility, boost in your self-worth, which we've been talking about. Like, yeah, we know who we are, Cancers. Hello. Like, now let's show up and show out and show the world. Okay, so we have, all right, so we have the 10 of Wands in reverse here, but we also have the 6 of Pentacles. So I'm going to I'm going to keep shuffling and see if one more pops out just in case. I knew it would. The Devil. Oh, there's more. Yes. Okay, so we also have the Devil with the Fool as well. So we are realizing that some of our toxic attachments, whether that be addiction, materialism, 3D matrixy, lower vibrational shit. The stuff that we've been repressing, the stuff that, you know, is creating this low self-worth, like all of that stuff, that's what's been holding us back with the Ten of Wands in reverse here. Normally, like, he's carrying all of those wands, and I am hoping that you're going to set that shit down, because we also have the Fool here, and he is so carefree. Like, this is carelessness. And I feel like also with the way that this is going here with the year, and really like seeing, you know, how we care about our relationships, I think we are going to be having boundaries around the people that don't pour back into us. Like, I feel like this year is going to be more about the reciprocated energy and us, like, finding our tribe and finding people that really support us, and also supporting other people quite a bit. That's going to be part of this new journey, especially with, you could be influencing, having some type of influence or something like that around this time as well. Okay, so this is March. Let's see what a hard truth would be for March. Spirit, what is the hard truth for March for the sign of Cancer? What is the... Okay. Alright. We have self-sabotage and lies. What do you know? Okay. So, once again, this is talking about that self-doubt. That's talking about that shaming. Like, we're having the realization around the lies. Like, these are the things that we need to be looking at, are the lies that we tell ourselves, our limiting beliefs. There's secrets that need to emerge, basically, for you to be in full alignment. And fear and self-doubt and the sabotage thing, it says consciously addressing patterns and behaviors by questioning the purpose that they serve. So every time that we, like I said, that we are surrounding ourselves with certain people, places, and things, it creates a lot of subconscious beliefs. And so I feel like this is talking about getting rid of the, you know, even like the frenemies or whatever, like the people that are around you that, like, they don't ever want to see you win. You know, like, you'll share a win with them. And also, I feel like this is a year that we don't need to be sharing our wins. Like I said, actions are going to speak louder than words this year. Okay? Like, no, we don't need to tell everybody everything, because they can just watch for the plot. They can watch from afar. Okay? Okay. All right. We are in April. I think, okay, so April and May, it's going to be kind of a slow burn as far as astrology goes. There's not much really directly with Cancer. There's communication, values, and self-expression that's kind of going to build up. But, Spirit, tell me about May for Cancer, May 2026. 2026 for Cancer. All right. Okay. Well, once again, it's just a continuation of... Oh, and there's the World card at the bottom. So we're needing to really close out the cycle here. The first half of the year, till June, like I said, Jupiter's going to be playing a huge role for us, and it has been. And whenever it goes back direct, like, that is kind of our preparation, because the last half is going to be about planting and being intentional and, like, doing those things. So we may have some resistance right here with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Not only is he already the slowest knight, but normally they're messengers, so there might be some type of delay that's going on. Or once again, it's just the continuation of the self-sabotage. Like, we're going to have to really walk through these moments here. And like I said, the theme is just show up unapologetically. Okay? And normally right before something breaks off and something super good happens for you, our ego likes to just try to control, and it'll grasp on to all the things that are, shit starts getting a little hairy. But the key is to throw the pattern off. Remember that. Throw off the loop. That's what I'm hearing for this here. April. Okay, what does April look like? What's April look like for Cancer? All right. Dependent. There you go. It's that same thing that I was just talking about. It says you rely on others and it's stopping you from claiming your power. So this is where we need to become a little bit more self-reliant. You can and you will do something. You just have to try. Like I said, it's giving that moment right before something major happens in your life, and everything is just trying to keep you stuck in that loop here. But with the world on the bottom here, we have got to close the cycle out to move forward. Gots to. Really, you should be doing that right now. We're in December. It is actually Christmas today as I'm recording this. So Merry Christmas. I know I've told you before. By the way, make sure that you share, subscribe, hit the bell so that way you know whenever my readings post. I do a free giveaway reading for a subscriber at the end of the month, but you need to have the bell on so that way I can get a hold of you, and that way you know who the winner is as well. And also, we did make it over 1,000, so now we're trying to do the engagement hours and the watch time hours and things like that. So your engagement is super important, and I thank you again for being here. Okay, so we're in May now. We were talking about how you're dependent, and we need to harness our new reality, basically. We need to harness our new reality. Okay? You know what I haven't seen yet, other than at the beginning of the month? You definitely could be starting off this year with a connection or a relationship. Like I said, that was really the only times that I saw love so far. Okay, and here's Scorpio. So what did I just say? What did I just say about the transformation process? And like I said, June 26th, we'll get to that, but that goes back to our Jupiter placement here. But this, like I said, ending the cycle. I literally just talked about that with the world. This is the finale. The finale. Okay? And like I said, we're here to expand. We're here to grow. We're here to do all the things. So this is a necessary change here. Let's get the shadow now. Spirit, tell me about the shadow of death here for Cancer in May. Tell me about the shadow for death here. What do you know? It's talking about future self. Oh wow, there's a bunch. Okay, lost faith. So at one point, probably over the last 3 years, I know for me personally, it was a lot like 3 years ago, just about, I was like, I can't take living the way that I was living anymore. And I started to make certain changes. So 2023 was the decision that I made to start making the changes. 24, I was working and grinding my butt off to change my reality. And then 25, I started to see the results. And now I feel like 2026 for us is, like I said, with Jupiter being in our sign. Like, it is, it's time to pop off, queens and kings. So we've got to finally eliminate and transform the self-doubt, the subconscious doubts, and have faith in our abilities. Because, what did I say? The future self is here. Okay? June is going to be a big thing, and I think May is going to be asking you, like, you know, reflect on what you want to see. It says reflect on how your future self will view today's choices. So, you know, walk with the wisdom of the life that you wish to live. And I think that's going to be the biggest transition, is like really talking to our higher self here, and really committing to what we want to manifest in our life. And this lost faith card is also still talking about allies that that come into our life. So there could be people that are entering into our life at this moment as well, to really help us expand into that future timeline, into the higher timeline. Now we have June. So on June 14th and the 29th, there's new and full moons. That's going to stir up those internal goals and mix up that outer world and the inner truth, the so within, so without. At the end of the month, on the 29th and the 30th, that lengthy, long tour of Jupiter will finally exit, meaning that it's going to start shifting to a boost around resources. Like I said, this is where those allies are coming in, money and confidence. So those are definitely things that you need to pay attention to. And like I said, the first half is about expanding you, confidence, visibility, identity, relationships, emotional growth. So the song that I'm hearing is like that, put in work, work, work. I don't know the rest of it, but that's what I heard. So that first half, like I said, is, ooh, hello. All right, June. So we have the Six of Swords, and then, let's see, what else do we have here? There you go. Putting in that work. Throughout the transition. You know what I'm getting around this deal is that, like I said, I was talking about the last 3 years. We've done a lot of healing, but at some point, like, babe, we need to move out of the healing phase, and we show up as healed individuals. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that the healing journey is ever changing and ever expansive and ever growing, and there's always something that, like there's always growth. But at what point do you say, like, we're going to start implementing this shit and not just being stuck in that, like, I'm still healing phase? Okay. So, let's see what the shadow wants to say. Let's see what the hard truth is for June. Which also, that will be for some Cancers. We're entering into, obviously, Cancer season towards the end of the month. So, happy birthday early for the June Cancers. I'm a July Cancer. I'm a July Cancer. Alright, Spirit. Okay. Oh, we have wrong person. So maybe that relationship at the beginning of the month we're going to figure out is not it. Not going to take that one into the beginning of the year, I mean. Either that, or like I said, it's finally cutting off those fucking people that just want to suck the life out of you, honestly. Like, not everyone is meant to go with you. Okay? Guys and gals? Especially into this new part of the journey, like I said, after Jupiter leaves or whatever, and we are literally jumping timelines, folks, okay? I think it's going to be about protecting your energy, having those clear boundaries, and being firm with the fact that, like, we don't need that shit in our life anymore. Okay? I know us Cancers love to take care of folks and blasey blasies, but, like, at the same time, we gotta take care of ourselves. Okay? And plus, us having new relationships and things like that, like, that's what that Six of Pentacles was about. It's about people coming, like, into our lives that are actually going to, like, give back to our energy here. So, okay, let's talk about July, which, like I said, another Cancer season moment. On July 14th, we'll have a new moon in Cancer. So this is the beginning moment. Like, this is the we have arrived moment, okay? Which I love that. So we're starting to plant those intentions. All the stuff that, like, all the expansion, all the things that were happening in the beginning of the year. This is, like I said, this is where we pop off, especially around relationships, the stability, career goals, emotional clarity. That's what this was giving here. So you should have a fresh wave of direction and purpose, especially since back in February we had that awakening, and we have some reckoning here. Oh, it's the Hierophant. We love to see it. So this is like having divine wisdom here. He's up there, and these two folks are down here, and they are looking up to him for, you know, a higher wisdom and understanding. Once again, it's talking about, like, how we're going to implement the things that we've learned on this healing journey. Like, what spiritual growth have we made? And we could also be switching more into from the student aspect to the teacher aspect. Kind of energy type of thing. Either that, or, like I said, we're just showing up really as a different version of ourselves. The one that's actually like having implied actions and behaviors. And I love that. Look, with the Eight of Pentacles on the bottom. We're actually doing the work now. We're not just thinking about it. We're not just hanging out in healing journey zone. We are acting as if we learned the lessons here. All right, Spirit, tell me about the Hierophant and for July. Tell me about the Hierophant and for July. There's the shadow side. So it says you're avoiding aspects of a situation that make you uncomfortable. Face the darkness to gain complete understanding and informed decisions. So, you know, I'm not really getting, like, too much bad energy off of that card. I feel like July is going to be a really good month for us, honestly. And, like, yes, we always have to face some type of darkness, you know. I think it's just that questioning, that open understanding of, like, we all have subconscious patterns. We all have limiting beliefs. We all have the shit that we grew up with. We all have core beliefs. We all have this, that, and the third. But it's implementing that once again. It's having the awareness of, like, how is this impacting my thoughts, my decisions, my actions on a daily basis. I think that's something that we really are going to need to focus on in July, because, like I said, this is the first month that, like, we're planting, we're moving, we are showing up as that anima mundi. We're like, we are part of everything. We accept all of it and reject none of it. It's the integration of everything. So, I love it. I love it. I freaking love it, dude. Okay, August is going to have some eclipses that are going on here in Leo and Pisces. It's kind of like next door. It's your neighbor. It's our neighbor here. So that's going to be like creativity, relationships, and and that inner psychological transformation thing. Like, obviously it's not in our sign, but there might be like some shuffling and unexpected shifts, just basically based off of the fact that we are having eclipses, you know. All right, Spirit, tell me about August 2026 for Cancer. Tell me about August 2026 for Cancer. Boop. All right. So, there's, once again, that's getting, the Ace of Swords is the breakthrough. It's the ideas. We're going to start speaking up to solve our problems here. No more hiding. Like, this is where we have the insight, we have the breakthrough, we have the power. We're harnessing our inner power here. Might get a little bit wiry, you know, with August turning to Leo season, fire energy and things of that nature. Be a little bit precautious that month, especially with 2 eclipses. We should focus more on the creativity side of things instead of the explosive energy, especially within our psychological transformations. But like I said, this right here is having the discernment and the wisdom, so let's keep that energy for sure. Let's keep that up. Make sure you remember in August. If you don't worry, I'll remind you once we get there. Okay, Spirit, tell me about August 2026 for Cancer. Tell me about August 20... Oh, okay. I just be throwing cards. Don't mind me. Oh, yeah. Okay, what do you know? So, bad attitude came out. It says your attitude is adding fuel to the fire. Okay. Yeah. Adjust your mindset to positivity so that way you can get the desired outcomes. I mean, I literally just talked about that. I feel like we are going to have to watch our P's and Q's a little bit this month. That's okay. It's like, I know what it's like to be a Cancer, and I know what it's like to, like, you don't want to argue with us. Don't do it. No, 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 no. Do not start. But once again, we've done a lot of healing, haven't we, Cancer? We've done a lot of healing, okay? There also could be some failure anxiety. Especially since at the beginning of the year, like, we really started to harness our power. We're starting to step into it, and then it's like, holy shit, these things are actually working, and I'm so scared. So there might be some procrastination, and like I said, you're only going to get success by actually trying. And so don't get stuck in just like a paralysis analysis mood there. Okay, we're on to September. So September and October, as far as astrologically, they're going to be like steady moon cycles. It's building more structure here. It goes through our transformational houses as well. So we're starting to look at long-term ambitions, security, foundational work. I did get the Page of Swords here. So this to me is that we're really in that curious energy here. You know, we're getting close now to, it would be the end of 2026, and we're having to start balancing those priorities when making these decisions and things of that nature. And it's just the continual growth of our journey into what we want for 2027. So it's so crazy that that we had the World card, because that's ending cycles, and then it's also 2026 adds up to 10, and normally 10, well, in the tarot, the World card is not 10, but numerology wise, the 10 is normally the closing as well. So But yeah, I think this is us taking the time to think before we act here. Let me just get the rest of the shuffle out, and then we'll get the shadow. Probably around issues of control within our emotional intelligence and responsibility. That could be part of it as well. Okay, September. September for Cancer 2026. Around the Page of Swords. And the long-term ambitions here. Let's see. September of 2026. Insincere. So it's reconnecting with that truest north. Like, it's just having that like I said, we're thinking things through. We're making sure that, like, we're putting forth the energy towards the things that we actually want. I think, like I said, it's giving that we are making sure that all the things that we're trying to get to, like, that we're placing our energy in the right times and the right moments. But I'm feeling like most of the year round, like, I feel like things will fall into place, but it's our responsibility to have the sign, like, to pay attention to what the universe is having for us, especially with this, like, insincere card. We talked about having, you know, showing up unapologetically, authentically, and I think this month might be another redirection and a recalibration of, like, is this what I truly want? Is this what I truly want to manifest? Is this true to my core? Okay, let's get October. Like I said, that's still a month of structural stuff. Okay, that's the Four of Pentacles, so that's the control. What do you know? And there's the King of Cups with the Chariot. So this is forward movement as far as our emotional capabilities, controlling our emotions, having that balance, you know. I think us as water signs, a lot of times we rely heavily on our emotions. I mean, we're ruled by the water, which is the emotional world in tarot, and I mean, for me, I don't know if it's for you, let me know in the comment section, but I definitely rely on my intuition. At one point, I was actually afraid to rely on my intuition. I didn't trust myself because I would make not wise emotional decisions sometimes because I wasn't actually listening to my intuition, and I didn't have the discernment that I do today. So I think that October is going to be a month where we really trust ourselves, that we make those logical, considerate decisions, basically, that are going to push us forward towards success. With the Chariot. Oh, and we have the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom. Towards an opportunity. Could be a connection if you want it to be a new creative endeavor. Whatever it is, but we're making the progress. There definitely could be an opportunity that comes in for you. A big opportunity that comes in for you in October. Especially since you're making those foundational goals. Let's see what we need to know here. Let's see what we need to know here. Okay, so we need to not listen to bad advice. Like I said, with bad advice, like, we already are trying to get rid of people that don't belong in our life. And in September and October, we were talking about having these transformational, foundational, structured goals, our long-term ambitions, and sometimes, like I said, we had dreaming big over here in the beginning of the month. We have a lot to cultivate here, and sometimes that's not going to be equally yoked with the way that other people think. And for you to go to somebody that has no idea what to, like, they've never lived that life. Just because we have uncertainty doesn't mean that anything is not possible. Anything is possible at that point. Sometimes, you know, we may not make the right decision, but don't go asking somebody that doesn't even have a clue either. So watch who you're trying to get advice from, and definitely don't take any guidance from anybody that's in a worse position than you, because they can't lead you where you want to go. So, okay. Let's see. January, February. So we're in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. We're in November. Okay. We got a lot going on out here. All right, November. What do we have for November? That's whenever we have some nodes that are shifting. So around Thanksgiving, around November 25th, there's a karmic point that I think, hopefully I say this right, Ketu, Ketu, enters into our sign. And so that will push us towards emotional authenticity. Once again, this year is all about just being like, yes, bitch, we're here. I'm here. I'm hearing that Cardi B song where she's like, hello. Like, that's what this year is, okay? It's me. Hello, it's me. Okay, that's what's going on here. We're gonna confront all of those long-term held belief systems that are holding us back. In 2027, we're trying to liberate, okay? We'll get to that, but let's see here. November, what do we have for November? All right. So, the moon. So like I said, we just talked about how we're going to get rid of the illusions and the subconscious beliefs that keep us stuck. Because like I said, at this point, we're thinking about 2027, okay? And we're expanding. We're doing all the things throughout the year. And in 2027, you don't want to fuck with us, okay? Like I said, we're going to be like unstoppable at that point because we've harnessed our power. All those illusions and things like that, we're starting during the middle of the year. Remember, we're starting to practice and apply our awareness, our intuition, our discernment, our things of that nature. We've cultivated the trust. We've done all of those things, and so now the subconscious it's sitting in the back seat. Okay, got to sit back there. And those nodes, like I said, they're really going to help you and push you with your emotional life and the way that you want to see your life. Let's make sure there's nothing else for November here. All right, let's get the shadow here. Spirit, what else do we have for Cancer? What else do we have for Cancer for November 2026? All right, right time. That's what's up. So, it says conditions are ideal and the timing is aligned. Because like I said, we're about to pop off. Your efforts will be met with your positive outcome. So, we're going to start reaping a lot of benefits towards the end of the year. We're going to be unstoppable, like I said. So harness and really stand in that power, Cancer. Stand in the power and be confident in who you are. Like, be proud to be who you are. Okay? I know I finally am. I've had so many different versions of myself. It's crazy. But I like the one that I have today, and that message is for somebody. So, all right, on December 23rd, we have a full moon in Cancer, and that's going to bring, the summit, the moment, like most Decembers. I think of bears. I think of the bear, the archetype of bear, and how it's the hibernation and the reflective period, and that's just like the way that December normally is. So it's kind of the closure, it's the reflecting on the insight that we've learned, and the ultimate maturation, basically. Yeah, having those karmic resets is what we have here. Oh, okay. So the Knight of Swords. So we're going, that's good. That's actually good. I mean, even though we're having that reflective energy and like we're going to be ready to move. We're going to be ready to move for 2027. Shaking and driving, ambitious, fearless, like I said, 2027 we are going to be liberated from everything. If you choose, we're going to be brave. We're going to have all the skills that we need. We're making logical decisions. We're, like I said, he's got a sword and he's ready to go. Okay? He's ready to go. He ain't waiting for nothing. It's over with. Alright, let's see what we need to see for this here. Alright, Spirit, tell me the shadow for December 2026. We're gonna be, like, we're gonna have emotional sovereignty, basically. Like, on a silver platter. I know for me, like, that is all that I could ever want. I just wanted to be a sovereign being. And, you know, we're finally here, so, for the most part, anyway. Alright, Spirit, show me the shadow side here. Procrastination. I don't really... Make sure that you're not procrastinating, because that doesn't even, like, this doesn't even... Don't delay anything that's important, because you're going to miss your opportunities if you do. And you're just going to create a bunch of stress. Like I said, there was an opportunity that definitely could be showing up in October. We talked about that. But just keep putting in the work. Like, do the small tasks, even whenever the instant gratification isn't there. Especially during that moment. Like I said, just keep putting the good foot forward is something that, like, don't get tied up in your head here and procrastinate and do all that. Especially after a win back here. Hello? Don't doubt yourself. Don't be going back on this energy here. No, ma'am. No, sir. I love this deck, so we're just going to pull one of these two really quickly here. Oh, let's get all of them out. Ooh, okay. This is the Abundant Attraction deck because I want to see exactly what the overarching abundant energy is that's coming in for my Cancerians. Spirit, tell me what the abundant energy is for overall 2026 for Cancer. I want to know too. Like I said, I'm a Cancer sun, so let's see. Come on, Spirit. Let's see. Hello? Spirit, tell me what the abundant energy is. Okay. Alright. Woo! Yes. Yes, kings and queens. We have limitless universe, which is the same archetype, but it's that we are boundless. We're boundless and abundant. Just open up your heart. Open up your heart to be able to receiving all of it. And I know it's difficult. Trust me, I know. It took me a long time to, like, I was like, why is it so fucking hard to just accept that, like, I deserve great things in my life? Let me know if you do too. Put that down in the comments. I finally started to accept it, but it also says walking in the truth that your dreams do not take away from others. So if you're having some type of doubt around, like, the fact that, like I said, we're showing up unapologetically, and sometimes, like, I've had in my life personally, which I won't go into the whole story, but I was in active addiction for a long time, and a lot of the people that I used to be around, they haven't made it out. And so I had a lot of survivor's guilt, and that doesn't necessarily mean that your story is going to be the same, but we did talk about the fact that sometimes people can't come with you. Okay? When we start making decisions that are wholeheartedly good for us, and we start having the confidence, and we realize like that we deserve those good things in life, sometimes that means that the things that aren't meant for us will slip away. And whenever we start moving in our authentic self and start creating our dreams, that doesn't mean that like we're taking away from other people. Abundance is infinite, absolutely infinite. There's money is made up. Actually, it's made up. It's an illusion. And like I said, there's so much abundance that people haven't even tapped into. They have to do the work though. And like I said, you're limitless. Limitless universe. There's enough for everybody to have exactly what they want because it's universe. It's your universe. You create whatever you want. You are that powerful. Oh my gosh, I love you, Cancer, so much. This is what I have for you. Comment below what you think about your 2026, what your goals are, what's going on in your life today. Like I said, your engagement is super, super important to me. And thank you again to all my new subscribers. If you're coming back, I flippin' love you so much. Thank you for returning. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.